My father's name was Harry, mother's name was Nancy, and it was Von Beck when they came over. And they dropped the Von and changed the V to P, made it Peck. Oh, my dad was a principal of high school, and later, when the TVA bought the farm because the built Cherokee Dam and covered 410 acres, we moved to town, and he had to stop his farming business and go back into teaching for a while. He was the principal of the high school at one time, and as I understand, a good teacher.
What did he teach?
As far as I could figure, paddling.
Oh.
How would you put it? I don't know of a better mother anywhere. She took care of us when we were downhearted and pulled us back up. Always had something in the cupboard for us. Was never demanding, but she always had us doing something. She was a good mother. There were 5 of us kids.
Sure.
And I was second to oldest. I had an older sister, and everybody else was my junior. Amy, Betty, and Mary Jane. But Amy was the baby. They're all around except Mary Jane. She passed away. She's a year older than me. But they're all doing fine. They're still around. Ed Peck.
And
right now, he's probably over in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
He's crazy about Smoky Mountain. He's been all over them. Yeah. I'd say you could not take him over there anywhere and lose him. You could take him over in the dark, blindfolded, leave him there, and he's home free.
He's a mountain man, huh?
Oh yeah, he knew that. He knows the Smokies real well.
When did you become such a huge Tennessee fan? Have you
Tennessee
always...
fan?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was always a Course Newman fan because that's where I went and that's where I played. But when you get down here, there's no such thing as a Course Newman fan. If it's not UT, you ain't nothing. The only thing I had to go on was I went to pharmacy school at UT. Everybody knows Creed Daniels. We played on a basketball team together. He was good. He was good.
He had a bunch of 32, 36-point games. Yeah. I mean, he was...
Had a lot of fun playing with Creed.
He talked about his little brother, Zane.
Yeah, Zane.
Yeah.
Zane was a good ball player.
Was he a good ball player too?
Yes, he was.
But he was talking about when he was like 6 or 8 years old, they were real concerned because he was losing his hearing, and they brought him down to Knoxville to a doctor, and they started examining his ears, and a seed of wheat had been in his ear so long it started growing. And they cleaned his ears out, and he was perfectly fine.
No problem. Kyle and I played tennis against each other at Course Newman. He was at UT. And I remember one time we were playing down here, and one of the fraternity houses caught on fire, and it happened to be Kyle's, and they say it always caught on fire. I've forgotten the name of it. But somebody came down and told him, and he came up to the net, and Kyle was a good player. He said, my fraternity house is on fire. Do you care if we quit for a minute? And I said, Kyle, I don't give a damn if we quit, period. Bobby Jean Catlett. I probably met her when I was in the first grade, I don't know. We grew up in the same town, Jefferson City. And I didn't have enough time left in service to be sent out of the country again. So I came home and got married, and we lived in Southern California for the rest of my Navy career, which was about 8 months or so, or something like that. And that was a good experience to be, get married and leave town immediately. I was in Korea about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a Navy hospital over there for a while. I worked, because I was a corpsman, I was on the front for a while with some of the Marines. They sent us out with Marines. And majority of the time I spent in Navy Hospital in Incheon. And we took in the Marines that had been on the front, rolled them in, and I saw everything that could possibly happen to a human body. It wasn't pretty at all.
And you remember that even today?
Too well.
Too well?
Yeah, I don't appreciate some of the images, but I still see them. As a matter of fact, I worked psychiatric ward for quite a while, and we gave shock treatments, insulin therapy, and all that stuff. I had experience in a pharmacy, and when they found that out on the hospital base, they took me off of a ward and put me in the pharmacy. And it wasn't too long I was being treated as a pharmacist, but I wasn't.
Did you get your pharmacy degree after you came home from Korea?
I sure did, yep. Actually, GI Bill helped me a lot. It was a good thing. A lot of people who could not go to school were able to because of GI Bill. It was a good thing for them. I was in a drugstore in Jefferson City, and it didn't appear to be a drugstore that was going to be available to anybody in the future, and I wanted to have my own. I did not want to work for the other fella. Clarence Long had this place, and I came in here and told him, I asked him if he had any work for me. And he said, if you want to work, I can put you to work. So I left Jefferson City and came to Knoxville. Came in here with Clarence Long and John Benson. And I guess they were here a couple of years before I came in. I don't want to brag about it, but I knew my business, and I was quick. And there wasn't all this business around here. This was a hot spot. And I could put it out just like that. And it took a doc. He took care of me because of that. We were, from day one, this place was always busy. I don't remember a day when Long's was not just a hot spot, really. When I came down here, there wasn't any other drugstores around. We were the only thing west. And it wasn't long before Sequoia Hills realized they didn't have to go downtown, and they just ran over us. It was a lot of fun.
But all these legends around Knoxville all came through here, didn't they?
Yeah, just about all. But this used to be the closest thing to town. There was nothing past here, and if anybody came out here, they were out of town, so to speak. And it was a good place to hang out. And they found out that the people across the way cooked real well. And we had a lot of good food for people who came out.
When did they decide to serve food?
A fellow by the name of Paul Beal was at Ellis and Ernest. And when Dr. Long came out here from Ellis and Ernest, he brought Paul with him. And Paul ran the fountain until he retired. He lived over another part of town, but he came over here every morning, opened the store, turned the stove on, got everything ready. And Paul was a name. Everybody knew Paul. And Paul knew everybody. Oh, Paul used to sing over there. He'd turn his back. He didn't know whether people were watching him or not. He'd say, woodpecker sitting on a Georgia pine, said, I can see his pecker, but he can't see mine. And he would sing that with his back to the town, and the women sitting there just giggle. Doug Atkins was a neighbor of mine, and I think I started out with his picture or something like that. And I had a few others because they'd come to see Doug and I'd get in on one. As a matter of fact, we had some fish fries, and there'd be a bunch of UT people there. I'd get their pictures and put them up over here, and they'd come in to see them. And the guys with me wanted to know why their picture wasn't up there. I said, "No, bring one in." And we had a good time with that.
I wanted to put up a power tee when we put our pictures up. And if you look at the wall, you'll see that the frames make up a checkerboard. And the frames that are in the middle are black, and they outline a T.
Bob Reinelton was a good guy. He was a lot of fun. And if things were down and people were sagging, he'd throw it out there. We just made the decision that there'd be no smoking. So we had no smoking everywhere. No smoking, no smoking. This one guy came in and bought his cigarettes, and he wanted to light up. And I said, "No, we don't have smoking in here." And he said, "Well, hell, you sell cigarettes in here." I said, "We sell rubbers too, but we don't allow screwing in the house." I was one of the lucky ones. All I ever got was a bad cold.
So you never had anything more than a bad cold?
Well, I had my fenders removed.
Your fenders?
What?
Have you wrecked a few cars?
Me?
Well, who's going to win that ball game tonight? South Carolina. First game of the season.
UT.
UT?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works. We'll
UT will take them.
Yeah.
always
I think so, too.
he's always the optimist.
Always.
Always the optimist. Did you ever think back in the 50s you'd make it to 65 years as a store? That's a lot of years.
I never thought about the years. I just had a good time. It's been a lot of fun here. Been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of fun. Because of the people that come in, it's been fun. Now, if I had a bunch of drag coming in here, I'd probably hate it, but I don't. It's just fun.
Is that the main thing you love about this business, is just the people? You keep talking about the people
Well,
in your relationships.
I can't have a relationship with a bottle of pills. I've got to get rid of them or I can't stay here.
So people come to you and you make them feel better, don't you?
I hope so. They make me feel better. And if they want to swap out, that's good.